My name is Syeira Hopkins. I'm 16 years old. I'm in the 11th grade. I have a mom, her name is Kia, and I have a dad, his name is Reggie. I have a brother and a sister, they're both older than me. They're like adults now, named Kiwan and Destiny. I draw, I like to do art a lot, and I do kickboxing. It was like late July I started it. It's been a year now that I've been doing it. I did it because I wanted to prove my dad wrong, because I used to do a lot of hobbies, like I used to do salsa dancing. I wanted to do guitar at one point, and he always said like, oh, you're gonna quit it in a week. I think I wanted to do karate at one point, but I got scared when I got there. So when he said I was gonna quit this in 1 week, I was like, no, I'm not. And at first, it was just to prove him wrong, but eventually I started to like it. I grew up in church because my dad introduced me to Jesus. The earliest memory I have of Jesus is when I had a nightmare when I was younger, and my sister, she told me to pray to Jesus, and you know, I just thought it was like a fairy tale thingy, so I was like, okay, I'll pray. And then I didn't end up having nightmares anymore, so it was nice. At first we went to different churches, but it was really boring because, you know, as a kid, you're just like, you know, people talking, old people, you know, you have to sing, eat, whatever. But eventually my dad brought me here, and I like the youth. They're really fun, and they make church fun. But growing up, he was kind of like something I prayed to when I was scared, mostly. It wasn't really a relationship. It was just like, oh, we go to church on Sundays, and I pray when I'm scared or I want something. Growing up, like the place where I live, they expect you to act a certain way, and if you don't act this way, you're not cool. So me being me, I was very disciplined by my parents, so you know, I can't do what kids usually do. They like smoke a lot, they curse a lot, you know, you go out with boys a lot. I know I just wasn't really into that stuff, so that made me lack friends. And I'm a very quiet person, so I wanted friends, but I just wasn't really bonding with the people that I wanted to bond with. I just like started to distance myself from people a little bit, and I started to like search for love, like for a friendship, a bond somewhere else, and then eventually I made my way to Jesus. It was in quarantine, like, well, it was like quarantine kind of ending, so like early 2021 probably. Like that whole summer where it was quarantine, I was hanging out with people. They were leading me in the wrong paths. You know, I was trying to fit in, but I didn't really like that. I never smoked or anything like that, but no, I tried to curse. It just hurt. I didn't like doing it. Eventually, when I realized like I just had a feeling there was something else out there, so I took the opportunity of quarantine and I just sat in my house. I stopped going out. That's when I started to scroll on TikTok because I was bored now, and like videos would come up of people preaching about Jesus. So eventually I got curious, and you know, this whole time Jesus had been like a character. I just started to pick up the Bible and I started to read it, and I started to like Jesus. Like I thought he was a cool character, but it's still a character in my mind. It wasn't really, you know, this was a real person that walked on this earth. That's when I started to get like a bit passionate about it. I started to do more research. Then that's when I realized like he was real. He actually died for me. Since I was such a fan of this character, I started to like spread the gospel to the people around me, just close to me. I had this group chat with some like old friends, but they kind of invited some of their friends into the group chat, so I didn't really know some people. So I started to spread the gospel in there. And that's when two like Satan worshipers just spammed me with all this forbidding language, I don't know. And I was really scared because I was like 11 or 12, 13. I thought I was gonna like curse, I thought I was gonna die. So then like this good feeling came over me, like I felt safe because I had been reading about it. It's about the Holy Spirit. Then I started to pray, like how my sister taught me all those years ago. I prayed because I was scared, and I replied to them and I said, God bless you. And then I just went about our day, and that's when I like accepted Jesus in my life. I want to get baptized because I want people to know that I accepted Jesus, because he's like my only reason to live and to like love others. God had gave me a dream about the rapture. In this dream, I was in my living room. I still had my eyes closed and I was laying on my side. And I have just felt like my soul like leave my body. It was a nice feeling. And I looked around and I saw like other people's souls like lifting up, and it was a good feeling. I was happy, you know, I just happened to get closer to God, and I thought this was real. But then I had to woke up, and now I think like I was like, oh, it was a dream. This is real life now. So this time I didn't get saved. I had got up and there was like chaos outside. Like it was just cars, crashing cars. There's people screaming, someone with a gun. And I get up and I go into to look for my family. They weren't there, but I'm guessing they were probably like out or something. So I go into my room. I get on my knees because I was getting close to you. Why am I left behind? And there was like a feeling of hopelessness that you don't ever want to experience. You know, eventually my mom, in the dream, she came in and she was trying to get me out of the house because the house was like falling apart. I just didn't care. Like, I didn't care that the house was falling apart. I was like, just yesterday I was praying to you, we were spending time together, why am I still here? From that dream, I took away that maybe I was being lukewarm. I repented, like I said sorry, and I started to work on my sins because even though I gave my life to Christ, I was still like a little bit on and off, you know, because, you know, that's the struggle of a Christian. But, you know, I started to do more research on sins because I didn't know much about that. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to avoid these sins. I have him right by my side. Anytime I'm scared, anytime I'm just happy, any feeling, he's just right by my side. And I just think about him. He did end up bringing me my 2 friends that I have been praying for since I grew up not really having friends much, you know, Juan and Camilla. They helped me get closer to him, and I really appreciate them.